Welcome to Breathe, Love, Parent, the Shine On podcast. I'm your host, Rach, yoga teacher, natural mama, and passionate guide in all things nervous system and connection. This is your space for honest conversations, emotional wellbeing tools, and mindful parenting insights. Whether you're in the thick of meltdowns or seeking a moment of calm, you belong here. Let's take a breath together and begin. Hello, lovely ones, and welcome back to Breathe, Laugh, Parent, the Shine On podcast. I'm your host, Rach, and today I'm answering one of the biggest questions I get asked from mums with 2 young children. How do I get my baby to bed when my toddler is home with me? So if you're listening to this with a toddler climbing on you right now or a baby attached, you're in the right place. This season of life is full, chaotic, beautiful, and exhausting all at once. I call this my season of the beautiful chaos. There's no perfect system, but there are strategies that can help and can help from time to time. And as always, everything I'm sharing is based on real lived experience, a deep respect for the nervous system, and the understanding that all children and mothers and fathers are wired differently. Let's take a breath together before we begin. Inhale, exhale. All right, let's get into it. Okay, why this feels so hard and why you're not doing anything wrong. Putting a baby to sleep while managing a toddler is one of the biggest juggle points in motherhood. Your baby needs you, your toddler needs you, and your nervous system is usually already stretched thin. And depending on how many naps your baby is on during the day, this can be a repetitive process. And add in sleep deprivation, overstimulation, the witching hours, or what I like to call connection hours, the mental load, and suddenly that 20-minute settling session feels like climbing Everest barefoot. Just know the challenge here isn't your lack of skill. It's the developmental needs of 2 very young children who both regulate through your presence. So let's remove the pressure right here. You are doing beautifully. Now let's look at what actually helps. So firstly, creating a predictable structure, even if it's loose. So structure doesn't mean rigidity. It means your toddler knows what happens next, so they don't panic when your attention shifts to the baby. So in our home, our rhythm looks something like this. 10 to 15 minutes of connection with my toddler. I set up the space. Baby goes into then nappy and feeding routine. That's my toddler's quiet activity window. I then settle the baby and return to toddler with presence. But here's the key. None of this was possible at the beginning. And there were so many times I was just pulling my hair out and I just felt at a loss. So I get you. 12 months ago, there was no way my eldest daughter, would have sat quietly or engaged in anything without me right next to her. And that's the reality. The only reason we have a rhythm now is because of consistency, repetition, and modeling again and again and again and again. But we'll get to that in a moment. Now, I'm being mindful when I'm talking about this experience. My age gap is 21 months. So I've had 2 babies basically at once. So I just want to honor, before we even go further, the stage of your child. Now, one thing that used to just really grind my gears was either, well-meaning people making suggestions, grab a basket, have a basket that's only for breastfeeding, have a basket that's only for sleeping. I'm sorry, my child didn't do that. I'm not going to give a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old doesn't have the ability to independently play, particularly if they don't know what's in it, right? And throw in dysregulated nervous system on their part, in my experience, it's just not going to happen. But depending on the personality, the temperament, and what's going on in your home, it may happen. So if that works for you, then that's fantastic. But let's focus on the next step of use quiet time for your toddler as actual quiet time, not unrealistic Pinterest quiet time. you know? Like, let's be honest, most toddlers are not sitting peacefully with a wooden puzzle and a curated basket of toys, especially high sensory, high movement, bouncy, spirited toddlers. Quiet time for that toddler needs to be simple, predictable, restricted in a supportive way, and something they actually enjoy. So now in our house, this looks like structured, vetted TV time. And this took me months to get over. My daughter didn't have screen time until around 2.5, but and I've had to let it go. I've had to realize that I can't be, super mum. I can't be giving everything that can't be an educational experience, Not everything can be guided by me. I have two little ones. My baby needs me. Yeah, it took a lot of processing, and I can go through this in another episode, actually, my views on screen time and the research that I have on screen time, and then my experience. I might say that for another time, but now I allow Bluey and Play School. And that's a very small list of predictable shows. The two reasons I have these are the themes, something we can discuss. I usually watch them before, or not Play School. I don't watch Play School anymore before I see it. I trust Play School. I watched Play School growing up. Every time I watch Play School, it's fantastic. It creates, particularly the episode Mindfully Me. We love Mindfully Me. Highly recommend it. It focuses on calming strategies, mindfulness that is appropriate for toddlers. They always have story time, but the key reason really for me for Bluey and Play School, I know they're age appropriate. I know they're safe. They're low stimulation, but they roll onto the next one because not like even now, my daughter's 14 months today, actually, time of recording. She's 14 months today, and it's not as easy as to just put down and go to sleep. So she needs me. Sometimes it takes longer, particularly, at the moment we're in that transition from 2 to 1 naps, and it's not as smooth as an X amount of time. So sometimes it goes over. So that's why I'm like, oh, they can just roll in because heaven forbid if I put on, one of the other things I do let my eldest watch is the stories, the Julia Donaldson books on Apple Ivy. So we only use Apple Ivy, but Julia Donaldson's books like Room on a Broom, Superworm, what else is there? Tabby McCat, The Gruffalo's Child, Stickman, Tiddler, Snail and the Whale. Those books, those gorgeous books, are now mini movies. So they're around 25 minutes. So if we're watching a movie, that's the movie we're going to watch. But if you put that on and you are not out of that room in time or you're not done settling your baby, then she kicks off. And that's fine. But yeah. But that's really it. And I don't hand her the remote. I don't put any overstimulating content. And I don't feel guilty either anymore because this season is survival mixed with intention. So if TV helps keep your child calm so you can get your baby to sleep safely, you have my full permission. Give yourself permission to do it. You're not just using screens, you're using a tool. And that's the way I look at it now. Oh, I will add in, at times, I have let her watch. I've created on YouTube low sensory, low stimulation, a collation of photos of animals that we've seen on our adventures, just with very calming music. I'll share that in the show notes as well. She likes that. And then you can watch it with them and you can suggest, like, what colors do you see if you want a talking point? What colors do you see? What environments? There's so much rich content to talk about from the images on there. So you could try that. I think it goes for about 20 minutes, maybe a bit longer. So that could be useful as well. Yeah, also focus on their one reliable calming activity. So this is where the consistency piece comes in. So for us now, Violet, so that's my eldest daughter, she will often grab her Shine on Mindful colouring book, sit at the table and start colouring with genuine focus. But 12 months ago, absolutely not. This is a skill we built by modelling the behaviour over and over. So it was me colouring next to her, me showing her how to stay with one activity, me slowing the energy of the room, me narrating calmness. And let me just reiterate too, I don't care if she colors all the pages. It doesn't bother me because the next time we'll go back. And that's something I've come to realize is, and like, excuse the swear, I'm about to swear, but it doesn't fucking matter. There is so much in parenting that we stress about and we worry about. And at the end of the day, does it matter? Like, does it matter if your child draws on all the paper that you give them? Or like, does it matter if they're coloring in all the pages in the book? Like, you really just need to think about right now, what actually fucking matters? Not that. So, and like, of course, I'm not talking about the walls or furniture or anything like that. I'm talking about if you give them an activity and they fully, you take on the whole activity, just relax, mama. It's okay. Yeah. So, and gradually, like truly slowly, she grew into it. So, give your toddler TV time or Duplo or mindful coloring, anything that anchors them. Some kids like Play Doh. I just want to pre warn you that whatever activity you give them, you don't want them making a huge mess. So, I personally am not going to hand over the paint and Play Doh. And I do have some sensory bins, but they've got rocks. And I need to share this story. There was one point I was like, oh, yes, let's do the sensory bucket. One of my girlfriends had made up this beautiful bucket. It was space themed and it had all these tiny little rocks. And this is actually when I was breastfeeding. I thought, oh, yeah, she can do the sensory bucket when I'm breastfeeding. Oh my God. She would have been like, oh, she wasn't even 2. She was under 2 then. Anyway, the rocks went everywhere. I'm like, far out. I was stuck there breastfeeding and I'm like, I couldn't help. There's just rocks and then there's moon bits and stars like all over the lounge room. And I have black carpet and there were black rocks. And I was like, oh my gosh. Anyway, so, but it was one of those moments you have to laugh, right? You're like, I'm well intended. I thought I was doing the right thing. No, I learned a lesson. So whatever you're going to set them up with, firstly, make sure it's not a choking hazard, then assess always assess risk, of course, but then look at, okay, what's the mess here? Or how loud is it? Loud toys off limits. So yeah, and that might be something you have to demonstrate and model and process with them. Like, what is a loud toy? What is loud play? Yeah, because then you've got the option of like stickers and yeah, Play-Doh or plasticine, or if they can't do the Duplo on their own, don't give it to them. Keep it easy. Give them some cars or whatever it is. If they've got one of those car mats or something that they can just be engaged in long enough that you can then be present with your little one. So the point isn't the activity. The point is predictability, consistency, and easeability. I don't even know if that's a word, but is it easy for them to use? Then quiet time for the baby, so if they're young enough. So again, I am not a sleep consultant. Please consult like an actual sleep therapist or sleep education worker on actual sleep. But when my youngest was still tiny, quiet time for her meant into the cot, dimming the lights, white noise, and a safe, contained place. So I'd settle her in the cot even if I wasn't ready to put her fully down. And this gave me 2 free hands, a toddler I could redirect, and a baby already in the sleep space. So this works particularly well for mums with mobile toddlers who cannot be trusted alone for more than 3 seconds, which is almost every toddler at some point. So yeah, just do what's going to work for you. If you want some more, particular examples, I do have some activities that I did use that helped, such as like animal matching. So all I did was have 2 pieces of paper. I had one green and one blue. But you don't have to have the colors. I had like in the water and on land, and a bunch of just plastic animals, and then she would just have to sort them. Like, what animals would you find in the water? What animals would you find on the land? And then when she's finished with that, then we talk about it. But and if you can give them heaps and heaps of animals if you want to. So, anchor points. What happens before you walk away? So before I pick up the baby and walk into the sleep room, I always give my toddler an anchor. Mummy is going to put baby to sleep now. When I come back, we're going to read your special book. Or you stay here with play school. Excuse me. I'll be back when the big hand is on the 6. So if there's a clock nearby. You colour while I settle the baby or what I settle your sister. When I come back, you can show me your picture. Cool? Yeah. So it's not a bribery, it's co-regulation. Their nervous system needs to know where you're going, why you're going, and that you will come back. So toddlers fall apart when they feel disconnected, not because they're acting out. So just keep that in mind. So I'm a huge believer on communication with my girls. I share everything with them. I'm very open with them. Then I'm also very mindful of like what is age appropriate. So no, they're not my therapist. That's not their role. But I tell them where I'm going, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and when I'll be back. And there are certain things like they can come with. But then they know, no, this is not a time you can come. So make baby sleep easier by working with their rhythm. Again, a huge lesson I've had to learn is not forcing or controlling when my baby sleeps, working with her little body. So this season gets 1,000 times easier when your baby moves to 2 naps, and I can already see it. Some days we're on 1 nap and I'm like, oh my gosh, bring it on. And I have to be really mindful not to force it because like that's just what I want. But my goodness, I can already see the benefits there. So that shift alone opens the day, tightens sleep pressure, reduces overtiredness, and makes bedtime settling faster. So I also learned to structure guests, visitors, errands, and social outings around nap windows. So I'm not juggling a baby who needs to sleep while a toddler needs me. And not in a strict way, just enough to reduce the chaos. And something I've done this second time around with my in motherhood is I've really taken it so much slower. And I've just accepted the fact that like, yeah, I'm home more. Yep, I'm home and that's fine. And no, I don't get to have as much social interaction as maybe that I had with one, but this is just the season I'm in right now. And that has helped me so much as being like, okay, this is a moment in time. Because I do know, knowing myself, knowing my energy, that there will come a point in our life that I'll go, oh, I miss having an excuse to be at home. So just, yeah, I keep that at the forefront. But don't worry about what anybody else is doing or thinking or saying. Just do what is right for you, particularly your nervous system and your mental, your headspace and your little people. That's the 3 people that matter right now. So when you're sleep deprived and running on empty, here are some realistic mum tools that you may apply. And let's speak honestly for a moment. A lot of podcast advice assumes energy, or it's not even podcasts, blogs, whatever you're reading, whatever you're consuming, assumes you have energy, capacity, emotional neutrality, and a functioning adult nervous system. But if you're in the trenches with a baby and a toddler, you don't have any of those things, or you don't have them at the capacity that you once had. So here are the things that actually helped me. Lowering the bar. Dinner can be toast or a heated up meal from the freezer. Laundry can wait. Colouring can be scribbles. Quiet time can be bluey. You are mothering. You are not performing. 1 breath before every transition. Like literally 1 breath. Inhale, exhale. Use micro regulation tools. So shake your hands, drop your shoulders, place 1 hand on your heart, whisper, soften inside your body. Tag team if possible. So tapping in and out saves family. So if you have someone that can come in, that's great. Like rely on grandparents if they're available, neighbors if they're close to you, friends, particularly friends that don't have kids, and especially if they work from home, like tap into those resources for sure. Do not fear asking for support. People, in my experience, people want to help if you tell them how to help. People just don't know, particularly like, older generations, they just don't get it. So you just have to articulate what you need from them. And then avoid the mental spiral. So this is too much. I'm failing. I can't do this. Let's swap that language for I'm tired, not failing. This moment is big, not forever. We're learning this together. And remember, nothing works all the time, not for toddlers, babies, or adults. So your job isn't perfection, it's presence. Enough. Just enough presence, all right? Enough, enough, enough. You are enough as you are. So a final reframe that changes everything. Your toddler isn't making bedtimes hard. They're not making it harder for you. They're not intending to make it harder for you. Your toddler is asking, am I safe? Am I still safe? Am I still loved? And do I still belong? And your baby isn't being difficult either. Your baby is communicating, I need your body to help my body downregulate. Both of them are good. Both of them need you. And you, mama, are doing a phenomenal job navigating a season that is genuinely one of the hardest of motherhood. With time, modeling, repetition, rhythm, and predictable anchors, bedtime will get easier. I promise you this because I've lived it. So, take a breath. Let's take one to close this chapter. Inhaling and exhaling. And remember, this isn't about perfection. This isn't about getting bedtime right. It's about bringing safety, softness, and connection back into a moment that often holds a lot for everyone. If you're in the season, particularly of 2 under 2 or close enough to it, or if bedtime has felt heavy since your new baby arrived, this episode might offer the grounding and clarity you've been craving. And if it lands for you, I'd love to hear from you. Your lived experience helps shape the conversations we continue to have inside this community. And know you are doing beautifully. Your presence is enough, and it's okay if bedtimes feel big right now. This season won't always feel like this. So go gently, give yourself lots of love, lots of compassion, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you for joining me on Breathe, Laugh, Parent. If this episode brought you a moment of calm or connection, please share it with a fellow mama. Subscribe on your favourite platform or visit shineom.com.au/podcast for more. Until next time, keep breathing, laughing, and parenting with heart. The information shared on Breathe, Laugh, Parent, the Shine On podcast, is for general educational and inspirational purposes only. It is not medical, therapeutic, or professional advice and should not be relied on as such. Always consult a qualified health or parenting professional for support tailored to your individual needs. Shine On and its guests disclaim any liability for decisions made based on this content.